Alright, sorry about that. For some reason, when I was setting up everything for the stream, I disabled comments. So, fortunately, I was not able to see anything anyone was saying. See here. Apparently, I nicked myself shaving. Hey, what's going on, Matt? Alright. Yeah, silver lining to COVID-19. I have all the time in the world now since I'm out of work. So, and figured, cooped up inside, might as well do a live stream for you guys. It's been a while. I keep meaning to, it's just 2020's been a crazy year so far for everyone, it seems like. Hey Irish, what's going on? So probably in the meantime at some point, I'll be working on a sharps that just came in yesterday for one of the members of the sharpshooters, so see me tinkering around, messing with stuff, I'm just working on a sharps. So if you guys have any questions, what I'm doing, breaking down sharps, things like that, feel free to ask. Yeah, Matt, you and I both, man. I think everyone's kind of hunkered down right now, so I guess we're all kind of screwed, but it could be worse. Also, hopefully audio's a lot better than the past ones because I've been doing it off my webcam. Figured I'd just use my gaming headset for this. If anything's too loud, please feel free to let me know. Especially if I'm using this, if it sounds like a freight train or something going through the mic, I can always mute it. So. Got 10 concurrent viewers. Oh, yeah, might as well start working on a sharps. Why not? Get things rolling. Hey, what's going on, Gaslight? So first off, from a subscriber, one of our guys bought this beautiful sharps. I'm really jealous, so shout out to Trevor Blackstone for selling this to us, because damn, this rifle is absolutely beautiful. I'm actually really I don't want to give it up. This is a really pretty rifle, but I actually have my sharps laying on my bed along with my Henry, so go figure. Anyways, might as well start breaking this guy down. So Matt, you had a question as to what I do for rubber buttons. Yeah, so Matt, I actually make reproduction sharpshooter buttons. They're not made out of rubber; they're made out of a hard black resin, so it's kind of almost like a plastic, but it replicates the vulcanization process, which is how the Goodyear company made the rubber buttons back during the 1850s, 1860s. Um, so just go to secondusss.com. My email's on there. Feel free to shoot me an email. I'm actually waiting on an order of resin to come in so I can start doing more buttons. Because apparently there's a high demand for them. And Gaslight, I'm just being quarantined, man. Well, okay, I'm not personally actually being quarantined like I have anything, but fun times. Freck Unknown. Been watching you guys all throughout being quarantined. Hey, thanks for the support, man. Appreciate it. Glad glad we can get some love while everyone's stuck inside. And Irish for our group, the club that we are under here in Washington State had to cancel just the training event that they had, but so far nothing's been quit on our end yet, I should say. Matt, perfect. Yeah, man. Look forward to your email. All these little screws on a sharps. Telling you guys, you never want to lose them. At least, I'm indoors and not out in the middle of a field. In fact, probably lower this down just a little bit. See, so you guys can see what I'm all working on and stuff. So how's everyone's quarantine going anyways? Hopefully no one's too bored, no one's gone insane just quite yet. My brother actually, funny story. This is because Washington went on lockdown last Monday. So last Tuesday, I sent a message saying, this quarantine is bullshit. I'm not even 24 hours in, and I feel myself reverting to a primal and tribal and primal state. I may declare war on my neighbors before too long. I may take their women as my own, burn their house, steal their goods, and collect the head of their chieftain and wear his face like a war trophy. And all Emmett had to say was, yeah, same. So hopefully no one's gone that far down the rabbit hole just yet. And if you have, let me know how it works out for you. Oh, Freck, that sucks. Two events. Alright, almost got this baby taken down. Yeah, oh dear indeed, it was great. Move that out of the way just a little bit. Sorry if it was deafening you guys when I hit it. Five events. Damn. See if my balancing skills are up to snuff. Probably not. Okay, how great is this? So here's the side with the cutout for the lock. Other sides. Oh, I know why. Because the patch box is on that side. It's about to make fun of how that's just gonna fall over the place. Hey, hooked on all of your guys' videos. Good stuff. 7th Florida Infantry Company K, located here in North Tampa, Florida. Watching from Wesley Chapel. Been sewing buttons on a dog tent. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, Ron? So here's Usher. I'm breaking it down, getting it all greased up, cleaned up for you, man. So once I'm done, you'll be able to see it. So yeah, Ron Glasgow, everyone, is one of our newer members to Company D, and we absolutely love the guy. In fact, this is the rifle that I was able to snag for him, and he's quite happy. Hey, what's going on, Jared? But anyways, Donald Courtney, glad you're hooked on the videos. I know First Sergeant Kep and I Appreciate the love and support. Alright, oil that bore up when I'm done. So I'm telling you, Ron, you got one hell of a rifle here. I'm actually really jealous. Might actually trade you, cause she's beauty. All she needs now is a bayonet and a sling, which I'm taking care of it for you, man. And Donald, thank you very much. We it's definitely a labor of love doing the videos, so love the support. Gaslight? That shouldn't even be a question. You should just go out and build one. So, making a shelter during shelter, top level irony, right? Cool. Hey, what's going on, Dan? It's an army sport that I'm working on, but I got my ped right there, my Henry. So if you guys want to see what I've done to my Pedersoli, since Pedersoli kind of tends to send a very orange kind of rifle, it looks like for everything. Uh, I basically stripped the little varnish that's on it, and I made it all nice and pretty. It's quite lovely. Whoa. Sorry, I'm just getting a YouTube link for some friends that I game with. They were wanting me to drop it, so. Anyways, Gaslight. If you were to reenact a European war, whether it be ancient, medieval, gunpowder, or modern, what would it be? So I've done World War II reenacting, but I would love, absolutely love to do Roman. Roman would be kind of a bucket list, kind of reenactment, personally, of mine. Cool. This is probably one of the easier new rifles I've ever had to take care of. So, thank you, Trevor, for taking such great care of this rifle. I know you only fired it like a couple times, so from what you were saying. So, for those of you guys who use rifles, whether it be a Sharps, Springfield, Enfield, anything like that, I will impart some wisdom that has been passed down from my grandpa, who was in the Marines and was a scout sniper in Vietnam with them and all that, and was the guy who, well, the man who trained me how to shoot, and hunt, fish, all that fun stuff. Whenever you take a rifle apart, because anytime we go hunting, we completely disassemble the rifle from the stock, oil inside with like linseed oil, true oil, anything like that, because you can get moisture in there, it can swell, and it kind of seals up the wood a little bit from like stock rot and stuff like that. So you don't have to do it all the time. I do it once in a blue moon. So, but yeah, just a helpful tip from old Ethan, I guess. Mary Gerlach, how's it going? Dan, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird having you on a live, or like having you watch a live stream. This is weird. You see my domain when we're gaming now. That's awesome. Ah. No, that ped does not need a sweet barrel wrap, Jared. No, never. Never ever. So since I have this whole rifle apart, I might as well work on everything. So I'll ask everyone's opinion. If you guys take your locks apart, or at least take your locks off your rifles, your muskets, what have you, do you guys prefer oil or grease? For me, I personally like oil because grease kind of gums everything up. It collects dirt. I mean, so does oil, but oil can be wiped off a lot easier than grease, I guess. But yeah, asking your guys' opinion, what you use, everything like that. Donald, so our reenacting season starts late March, April, around that time. We have our company training event middle of next month. And usually runs till about August, September. I know Jared, First Sergeant Kep, and I really want to start doing fall winter quarters events. Jared actually made a fantastic winter quarters shelter. We like to call it the Whack Shack, and having those with a dog tent over it for 2-3 sharpshooters at a time, where we hold our training event kind of in the foothills of eastern Washington towards the Cascades, would be absolutely phenomenal. So hopefully our season can be year round. Gaslight, I know at least a few guys in my reenacting unit would love to do Roman. If there was ever such a thing, I would love to do Punic. Oh yes, Punic Wars. So that's before the Marian reforms. So you had your, what was it, the Hastati, the Presimpe, and the Triari. Oh god, that'd be awesome. I started using bear oil on my locks. Keeps my flintlocks fast, and I can tell there's a difference on percussion. L-Hop, I will definitely look that up and give it a go. Galaxy Hero, how do I think coronavirus is going to affect reenacting seasons? I mean, it already has in a lot of aspects. We were supposed to go back in May to Chancellorsville for a living history thing there, but unfortunately, that got canceled due to coronavirus, or the Kung Flu, as me and my friends like to call it. So, Dan, oil to protect the metal, grease for the internal of the lock. Okay, might have to try that. You and I can talk more about it later. So, for me, I don't know. Maybe it's something I've learned from my grandpa, but oil. CLP. My grandpa was in the Marines forever, so he always had copious amounts of CLP. That stuff is amazing. I love CLP. And I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I just have my cleaning box down below me, and apparently I dropped it. Well, okay, not apparently. I did drop it while I was getting back into my room from where I store my reenacting stuff, and everything kind of got jumbled around a little bit. Okay, thanks, Dan. Although, again, we can definitely easily talk more about it. Secondary dream impression would be Napoleonic era French Marines de la Garde Impériale. Oh god, that'd be awesome. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I do German, not French very well, so. Cool. My poor computer desk. How many rifles I've cleaned on this thing. After I built my current PC, I promised myself I wouldn't clean rifles on it like I did the other one and do leather work, which my old computer desk is now my designated sewing desk, and I am still cleaning rifles. I haven't done any leather work yet, so there's no hole punches yet. Granted, I actually have a couple tables in the other room for all that kind of stuff now, so. Knapsacks and leggings. It's pretty much what I've been working on during my imprisonment and playing video games. And eating copious amounts of takeout, which has yet to affect me. Hooray for high metabolisms. Mary, I'm a War of 1812 reenactor, and you cannot find anything about protocols and stuff on the history of different units and what they had in researching. So I can imagine. God, 1812. Unfortunately I don't know anyone that reenacts 1812 that I'm quote unquote close with. That I wish I could really help you on finding more stuff out. Alright, just gotta mute the mic real quick. I gotta. Clean and pretty, the way it should be. Mary, I will do my best for you. Shoot me an email. It's on our unit website, and I will definitely try to do my best to track down some people that do 1812 to help you out. I wish I could be more of a resource for you and help you out. It's just I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet with 1812 reenacting, so. But I definitely know there's people out there that can easily help you out. Matt, watching this stream in a PBS show, Untold Stories of the Civil War, didn't know if you'd seen the show series yet. I don't have cable, so I haven't seen it yet. I might have to go over to my grandparents and borrow their cable for a couple hours. Or just, sit down and watch it with my grandpa. usually what I do when I go and visit them. Watch military videos, talk history, guns, stuff like that. So, Gaslight also guards Frances. If I'm saying that right. Pretty cool uniforms, as do Franco. Yeah, oh yeah, Franco-Prussian War would be a cool one to do. We actually have a guy in our group that has an original Drysa needle gun, and wow, those things are cool. Where did I put my oil? So, am I the only crazy one here that absolutely loves the smell of linseed oil, boiled linseed oil? 'Cause, I mean, if they made a cologne for it, I would buy it and wear it all the time, even if I wasn't leaving the house on lockdown. It's like the smell of a modern propellant cordite. Oh god, God, that'd be amazing. Can I say I'm a gun junkie? And I'm getting the playback of me oiling the stock, and it definitely does not look right at all. So thank you, everyone, for withholding comments. Granted, I'm not too proud. I can always laugh at myself. All right. Hand rubbed coat of boiled linseed oil. Nothing better in the world. Mary, your 1812's definitely not the only one. Civil War's full of it too. I mean, granted, that's kind of how I started out. 14, 15 years old, didn't really know what authenticity was besides uniform, drill, and that kind of stuff. And I didn't know the right kind of gear to have, the right kind of places to get gear. So, and yes, shock to all, I had a cooler in my tent. Little lowly private Whitehall, reenacting as a sharpshooter with an A tent, green canteen covered, green vest, green everything, cooler in the tent, fun times. And now it's either an A10 or a dog tent, so. Any experience with Shiloh cartridge rifle? I have the Pedersoli Berdan. We still have to work on getting it up to your way. Yeah, I actually have had the great pleasure to fire a Shiloh. I believe it might have been a 45 110 or a 50 110. I'm terrible with the odd cartridge calibers of a sharps for the cartridge firing ones. Um, God, it was years ago. It was I guess you could say he was a family friend. He has one, and he actually went on a buffalo hunt with it, and I had the great joy and pleasure of shooting it. And oh my God, the fit and finish and everything on those that they do are fantastic. Um, Actually, a fun story. When I just graduated high school, since where I live, I was living with my grandparents over in Eastern Washington. It's where I still live. Uh, we went on a road trip a couple days after I graduated to Minot, North Dakota. Yeah, real big destination. It's where my grandma's from, and we went through Big Timber, Montana. So if Big Timber kind of rings some bells, or if people don't know, Big Timber is where Shiloh Sharps has their uh, production based out of. And we're driving around, kind of driving through, seeing if I could find the Shiloh Sharps place just to take a picture of it. And we see a guy walking down the street, and we stopped and we're like, "Hey, sir, could you tell us where Shiloh Sharps is?" And he points out his hand and goes, "Yeah, I do the woodwork for him." And we're like, "Oh wow, that's awesome. Where's the place at?" And he goes, "Oh, it's right here." Points to the building right behind him, big sign, Shiloh Sharps. We drove by it about 5 times. How we missed it, I don't know. Um, and God, I wish I could remember this guy's name. He was absolutely awesome. Since he works there, he has keys, and he's like, "Yeah, would you like a tour?" Keep in mind too, this is 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, so they just got done with work, and he took us through the entire place on where they make Shiloh Sharps rifles, and it was. I don't think kid in a candy store really covers how I felt or how I was reacting. It was a really cool experience, and it's something I will never forget. Um, I wish that they still made uh, their 5963 sharps, because if I had the money, I would buy one for a Berdan. Hell, I'll still probably buy a cartridge one eventually when I play the lottery and I'm rich and powerful. Sorry, Mary. You and Sergeant Kep could probably be screaming because people can't drill or anything right. War of 1812. I swear people can't even get it or get the history right once some days. Yeah, and like Jared said, I know the authentic side. Everyone's like, "Oh, stitch Nazis. Oh, this and that." "Oh, it's what I have is just good enough." It's like, okay, it is good enough to start, but it's Parks and Rec. Ron Swanson. Don't half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing, and that's really how I see things with reenacting. If you're gonna do reenacting within reason, don't go broke buying all this stuff at once, but piece by piece. Part. A cartridge box here, cap box here, fatigue blouse there, federal issue shirt here, trousers there, brogans there. Over time, work on getting better. Study your drill. Get your drill down. I mean, drill's a big thing. These soldiers practiced drill incessantly. You know, get things right. It's not hard. I mean, and even getting authentic gear anymore is not that hard. There's the trade blankets on Facebook. There's the authentic campaigner forum. Uh, Dan Wamba, he does kits. I've sewn plenty of his kits for people. I'm still sewing on some kits. Just been busy and trying to get caught up on those and everything. Um, it. I feel very strongly about trying to do things right. I don't know if it's just how I was brought up with kind of a military family and, measure twice, cut once kind of mentality, or it's just my personal sentiments to just do things right. And especially when you're doing um, reenacting of a conflict, war. You know, in some cases, a lot of men, some women, depending on what era you're portraying, fought, bled, died wearing those uniforms. And you're trying to recreate that, whether it's for your own personal group or if it's for um, the public, if it's for a museum, displays, anything like that. Honor these people right. Show whoever you're doing this for, whether it's yourself or a school, a museum, a national park. Do it right. It's it's not hard, and honestly, having better gear, more authentic gear, whatever you want to call it, it's a lot more fun. At least for me. And I'm sure a lot of people share that sentiment. So, see, Donald Courtney. Where can I check the serial numbers? I have a C sharps patent, September 12th, 1848. My safe that I inherited when my father passed away. Yeah, like Jared just said, there's a book. It is Civil War Sharps, Carbines, and Rifles. Fantastic book. I cannot suggest it more to someone, especially if you're trying to track down serial number ranges and everything like that. Donald, that's always a very fair thing. Um, I never publicly, openly talk about how many firearms I own or their serial number ranges, stuff like that. Just know it's a lot. I will say that. They've all been inherited. And Jared, yeah, I'd love to do a video of where we roast our old uh farb habits. That'd actually be a lot of fun. We should do it. All right, and hopefully, Ron, you're still watching because I'm putting your rifle back together. So hopefully we can do a cool post cleaning review. Well, cleaning. This isn't even a cleaning. This is just a quality check. Which, if you took this rifle to morning inspection before I even took it apart, easily would have passed. So again, huge props to Trevor Blackstone. Hopefully you see this video eventually, man, and know that your rifle care has been noted and is greatly appreciated. Because I haven't bought rifles that have been a mess, but I've taken a look at people's rifles, and so has Jared. And oh my God, some of these rifles people buy, inherit, find, whatever means they come across a rifle, whether it be, of course, I drop a screw. um, However, people come across a firearm, whether it's modern reproduction for reenacting, things like that. All right. Where did I just drop a screw? It's a big one. I'll find it probably about an hour after I'm done putting this rifle back together and have a aha moment. Or I'm just an idiot and have it hidden in plain sight. Um, but I've come across some rifles that are just if someone bought it, they wasted their money, even if it was super cheap, because just the amount of repairs would just they're not even worth it at that point. Sorry, one of my really good friends is having some medical issues, so he's kind of messaging our group chat about it. Um, kind of like my grandpa's neighbor. He went muzzleloader hunting quite a few years ago with I think it was a Thompson Center 50 cal, modern, not a like a Hawken or anything like that. He fired it, got an elk, so good for him. But he didn't clean it, anything after that year's hunting trip, and just let it sit in the closet essentially. And come next year, he comes over to my grandparents, walks up to my grandpa and says, "Hey Tim, my something's wrong with my muzzle loader." And my grandpa took a look at it and he's like, "Throw it in the garbage, because unless you want to spend the money to get it serviced by a gunsmith, it's kind of trash." Hey, what's going on, Red Runner? Nah, not ignoring you, I promise. I'm just almost done getting the sharps up to a very high standard, as if it wasn't already. I know I keep gushing about this rifle, but I'm really jealous of Ron here. This rifle's a beauty. Just gotta make sure the barrel bands lock the barrel, or the barrel band springs lock the barrel bands on. Grease up the block, and we are set. Red Runner, I'm doing alright. Besides COVID-19, 2020's been, lack of a term, been a bitch of a year for me personally, but it kind of seems to be that way for everyone, so I'm not going to complain too much. Some people have it harder than I do. Donald, on my bucket list, the next big event for Gettysburg. It would be cool to run into you guys. We'll definitely be asking for a group picture with you guys. Could be titled Confederate Captive. Yeah, that'd be cool. Since we're mostly West Coast based, but we definitely want to get out east. At least I do, and do some cool events over there. Let's see, Jared, just working on a shelter half and watching the episode of day drinking rifle maintenance with Captain Whitehall. Hey now, what's the song? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, Red Runner. I also am out of work. So since our last live stream, I quit my other job, and I'm now, well, was until Washington State closed everything down. Was working with my uncle at his bar. Since Washington State, all dine-in bars, restaurants, eateries can only do takeout orders. My uncle's basically taking care of all that himself, and I'm day drinking, working on a rifle, and talking with you fine people, so silver linings. And playing copious amounts of DayZ. It might actually be an unhealthy addiction. I don't know yet. considering it practice for when the zombie apocalypse comes from COVID going around. Mary, I've been looking for an A-frame tent, but don't know where to find one. Mary, Panther Primitives would probably be a very good bet. I know they have a knowledge in tents, probably far better than I do. For me, I love the old dog tent. It's always a good standby. Hey, dropped the block as I was greasing it, and I didn't get any grease on anything. Just make sure I don't stab myself in the mouth with this, because I've done that and this stuff does not taste good. At all. Eh. Alright. After a full complete takedown, oiling, greasing parts, oiling the stock, this is what we got. A very, very beautiful Sharps rifle. Again, Ron, I am super jealous of this. This is one hell of a rifle. So, you know, feel free to let me know. I can work on the lever tension for you. I did work on your set trigger earlier when yes, this isn't the first time I took this rifle apart. I did take it apart earlier just to work on the trigger mechanism, but the set trigger is probably about 3-4 pounds, so it's not bad. Can always work on it a little more. Oops, just dry fired it. I'm sorry. But yeah, great color, great stock, no weird cracks. The wood grain ends where it should, so yeah, this rifle should give you plenty of fond memories with us. So awesome. And now I can really focus on questions. The one thing I will say out of the whole private life of yours truly is working in a bar is actually a lot of fun. You meet some really cool people, get to socially interact with people in a different way than you do yeah. Plus your alcohol tolerance goes through the roof. See here. Get caught up. So Townsend's doesn't sell tents anymore. Daisy, Mountain Blade is where it's at. Yeah, I've played Mountain Blade. That is a really fun game. I do enjoy it. I just play Daisy with a guy from our unit and a couple other people. I don't know if they're in the stream right now. I don't know if I should out them. L-Hop. I didn't know Track of the Wolf sells tents. Granted, I'm usually looking for gun stuff on that aspect. Hey, Red Runner. What kind of whiskey are you getting? I'm a big Scotch and whiskey person, so kind of interested. See what you got. That just hurt. Oh, Donald, are you talking about the accidental dry fire? Yeah, that kind of hurt my soul too. Luckily, it's the only time I've dry fired it, so did not know that I worked that hair trigger just a little too light, so I might have to tweak it. And you came upstairs from a refill. Luckily, I have my refills ready to go. No, I'm not an alcoholic, I promise. This is kind of my stock up. Fireball? You can have that Fireball. I've never been a fan of it, so can't say it's my favorite. I love cinnamon, but dear God. And Donald, yeah, I love the Total War games. I actually started off with Rome Total War way back when it came out in like 05, 06. My mom still jokes to this day because what, 05, I was 13, 14 years old, and I'd be during the campaign as like the Julii or the Scipii, and I'd be at war with Carthage, and Ethan, you need to go take the trash out. Hold on, I'm not done taking Carthage. So she still brings that up to me. It's great. Irish, that's awesome. First Canadian Para Battalion. I approve. Ooh, Red Runner mead. We actually have a really good meadery. I think it's a meadery. I think that's what you call it. A really good meadery here in Spokane where I live, called Hierophant. Again, working at a bar. Go figure. Their mead is fantastic. Trying to remember exactly what my favorite one was that they had. I think it was lavender, a lavender mead, and that was really good. That bottle did not last long in this house with me and two of my friends living here, so. In case you guys are wondering, beer, drinking a very wonderful IPA, which is definitely an acquired taste for some. So I guess those of you that are the drinking type, what's your guys' favorite poison? I guess hard A, beer. If you guys like both, what's your favorite of Good pour, good pour. Because personally, for me, I guess I'll start off for beers, IPAs, stouts, porters, and ales. Very English, very German, so kind of goes without saying. And then for hard A, it's kind of a toss up between Scotch, rum, and whiskey. Some people consider Scotch and whiskey a very similar thing. See, Logan Davis. This virus gave me time to think about my unit. I am conflicted if I should try another one out or not, as this one isn't accurate as I wished. Logan, I would definitely agree with that, man. Obviously you kind of have what you want in mind. There's nothing wrong with branching out. I'm not gonna lie, there was actually a time where I thought leaving the sharpshooters might have been a good thing. I had one kind of a real shitty summer, and as I drip beer on myself, glass was a little too full. And I don't know, just kind of something kind of spurred, but I'm glad I stayed. Really glad I stayed. And yeah, like Jared just said, when in doubt, try it out. There's nothing wrong with unit hopping in a way. Check my phone real quick. Make sure my buddy's doing good. Sorry, my buddy's I'm just responding, just making sure he's doing okay. So, are we going by category? If so, Guinness is my beer. For shots, Jameson. For fun drinking, mead. Not too many creatures. Okay, Guinness, Red Runner, you and I can be friends. I love Guinness. Actually, I love how this is a reenacting channel where we talk about booze, but hey, what are you gonna do when everyone's stuck inside? Drink. Granted, there's also, I mean, okay, drinking, sewing stuff, and do I need to say, but I feel like in 9 months there's gonna be a baby boom. People get bored. What else are you gonna do? Um, but Red Runner. So feel free to try this out. This is kind of my own recipe I've kind of mixed with. I make what's called Bailey shakes. My friends love it. So it's 2 bottles of Guinness. So you take a blender. Let me start here. So you take a blender jar, fill it with chocolate ice cream, 2 bottles of Guinness, 1 cup of Jameson, 2 cups of Bailey's Irish cream. Pour it all in, blend it. Pour it in a glass, serve with straw, spoon, whatever. It's a Bailey's milkshake. It is. Yeah, I actually might go to the store after this and make one. Donald Jameson, good choice. I do love me some Jameson. And yes, nothing like bonding with 3 men in a dog tent. We've actually fit like 6 people in a dog tent, something like that. So, ow, just popped my jaw and it hurt. Holy crap. Logan Davis, maybe Georgia is better. Thanks, guys. It's more immersive without Mountain Dew, in my opinion. But they're period accurate. Smartphones are great. All right, I'm interested, Logan. Fill me in on this period accurate thing. Hey, what's going on? Civil War uniform and equipment. It's good to be back. I know I keep saying, hey, 2 weeks time I'll do another live stream. I'll do another live stream. It's just like, you know how life is. It loves to just throw curveballs at you and kind of kick you in the face when you least expect it. So, Generation Virus 19. Yeah, kind of kidding. And Rev Jeremy, and Red Runner. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, alcohol and ice cream, you really shouldn't mix too much with it, and you don't get the flavor of the alcohol, so you can drink like 2, 3 of them, but it's like a milkshake. So, I mean, too many milkshakes, you'll make yourself sick to your stomach, but it's really good, especially, you know, mid-August, July, August day, out doing lawn work. You just want some cool but kind of a boozy drink to have, but you don't want to just down straight alcohol. Bailey shakes. Granted, I'll drink them year round, so. So Civil War uniform. That's your Nick. Yeah, it's Nicholas, right? Or Nick Godwin. I'm terrible with names. I can remember your face, so. Just spent a week outside, staying in my A-frame. I used my mucket, canteen half, and open fire to cook. I'm jealous, man. I want to do that. Milkshake with a bit of bourbon is really good. There's a recipe done by binging with Babish. Oh, hell yeah. I love that channel. Love binging with Babish. Period accurate smartphone. Just get out of uniform and it's okay to text in camp. Very knowledgeable, that guy. So I don't know about everyone else, but getting into a period correct uniform is a bitch, to say the least. Um, yeah, yeah. It just, to me, for some reason, it feels like it takes forever. Mainly maybe because we have zippers now and buttons. I don't know. Sorry, my buddy texted me back. So, anyways. Oh my god. Yeah. Get out of uniform so you can use your phone. Wow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do keep my phone at events, but I keep it in my tent, and I will go on my phone I mean, granted, this is when I was running a store, so I kind of had to keep tabs, but, I'd go in my tent, close a flap, or put a cover if it was on a dog tent, just so I can kind of scroll real quick, but never out in public flagrantly. That's ridiculous. Hey, Red, that's awesome, man. That's cool. Glad we inspired you. Trivia question. Being that you guys are located in Washington State, where was the last fight slash guns fired of the Civil War? Washington State, huh? Alright, so Donald, this is an interesting one, because as I understand it, the last fight was Glorieta Pass, but that was nowhere near Washington State. Uh, M915A5. I mean, people are already putting together Gulf War kits, which is kind of weird to me. It's like my grandpa. He's a Vietnam War vet, and I showed him some pictures of guys putting together Vietnam War events, kits, stuff like that, and he even said, you know, okay, I mean, all right, we're all adults here, or at least we're all mostly adults. Swearing is a very common thing these days, but he even said he's like, that's really fucking with my mind. Um, for Vietnam vets, Gulf War vets, vets like Mr. Glasgow and our unit, Panama, stuff like that. That's still a very, very recent thing. These guys are still very well alive. You're very still remembering what they went through and seeing people recreating it or trying to recreate it. Um, at least for my grandpa, he respects it. He's very appreciative of it, but it kind of weirds him out. It's something he went through. Um, he loves critiquing those impressions, though. So those of you, if you guys are watching this, whether it's live or down the road, if you guys are doing a Vietnam War impression, more canteens. My grandpa, as a scout sniper with the Marines in Vietnam, carried his M40, a 45 with 2 magazines. They gave him grenades, which was weird. Um, they gave him 60 rounds of ammunition, which he said was usually about 55 more than he ever needed at any one time. besides his necessities, he carried about 5 to 6 canteens of water. So, canteens, you guys, humid tropical climate, you go through water quickly. You need clean water for a lot of things. Keep that in mind. Just finger gunned you guys twice. So, Logan Davis. So, do we start donating our powder budget to you like an e-girl? What else to do with such funds? Um, so actually, I really wanted to bring that up to you guys. I think I mentioned it, God, on one of our earlier live streams. Jared, feel free to comment in as well on this, but I'd really love to start a Patreon for our group, just so we can get maybe better stuff for doing live streams, better video equipment, better video quality, um, video editing, things like that. Um, wouldn't go to our personal bank. I wouldn't be driving around in the Lambo, stuff like that. No, it would go to better entertainment for you guys. I mean, hey, powder would be great. It keeps us shooting. I'd definitely be happy with that. But something like that would be a huge help. I for that, I'd love to work on a kickback for you guys if we do a Patreon, kind of like what the Civil War Digital Digest does with uh, Will Eichler. Eckler. Dan, if you're still watching, feel free to rip me apart on how you pronounce his last name. But it would be for the betterment of you guys and us with our channel, and would help you guys help you out, help us out. So let me know what you guys think on that. Don't know the ship names, but the bearing straight off Alaska. One Confederate ship that refused to surrender sailed its way and was just chased, found by a Union ship. Just learned of this one. Dan's probably right. I think it was the Shenandoah. Obviously not Washington State, but kind of our neck of the woods, Pacific Northwest, if not the far Northwest, being Alaska. I still think it's the far Northwest to me. And Roadrunner or Red Runner, hope to see you soon, man. Eichler, hopefully. And yeah, Matt, I have Discord. I've thought of kind of starting up a Discord server for reenacting, not for the sharpshooters, but for you guys. That way we can all kind of chat, keep in touch. You guys can badger me more to do another live stream instead of once every 2-3 months, instead of once every other week, like I've been wanting to do. Donald, yeah. So powder is one of those. It's really hard because where I live, for those of you guys who don't know, I live in Spokane, Washington. I'm not giving out my address unless you guys are sending me something. And even then, if you guys send me something, please no anthrax. I try to be good to you guys. Don't poison me. Um, like the only black powder source you can buy here in Spokane is an outdoors store, and they uh, God, what was their last price that I checked? I don't buy black powder from them anymore, but I do buy cleaning supplies for modern firearms. Last I checked, it was $21 or $22 per pound. So if you guys do want a really great powder source to go through, Buffalo Arms out of Ponderay, Idaho. For me, I just drive up there, pick it up because it's an hour and a half drive for me. But they do great prices for bulk powder. I think last I checked it was about $15.25, maybe $15, 16 cents, something like that. 25 to 50 pound increments. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets. Kind of the usual in bulk. Um, So yeah, if you guys need powder, definitely give them business. They're an awesome company to go through. Super nice people. I've always talked to them over the phone. Very cordial. Um, I've never had an issue with them, and they have great other stuff than just powder. And Donald, cool. You know what? After this, I'll start up a Discord. Check, please, if you guys do have Facebook. I'll post the name on our Facebook page that we have. Logan Davis, that's awesome. I might have to join it. Medieval to Nam. I might. So I'll probably do the Discord for just our channel and stuff like that. That way you guys can give. I'll make little sub threads in the server, so that way we can have like video ideas. So ideas that you guys might have in mind for us or requests. We'll kind of have a general chat, so that way we can kind of BS, like, oh, hey, what's going on in your neck of the woods, authenticity, stuff like that. So I think it'd be kind of a cool idea. We can even do voice chats. I'm not afraid personally talking with you guys, hearing your voices. Be pretty cool. You guys have to hear my annoying voice all the time doing these, so. How much powder would a company go through in a season? Rev Jeremy. Um, it depends on the company. Um, Depends on your size. Depends on how much you guys shoot. There's some units that just go out for a hoot and shoot, which is, you go to an event and you guys just try to fire as much as possible. Depends on your weaponry. Muzzle loaders are going to shoot a little slower than a sharps. For us, at our current number right now, since I'm the one that buys the powder, so I've calculated, this is how bored I get at times. If you have a cartridge for a sharps or a muzzleloader at 60 grains of powder, for 1 pound, you will get roughly 115 to 117 rounds. 1 pound. So obviously, God, for the sharps rifle, on average, say if you're doing just your typical public event for a 1 hour battle, for us being engaged normally, we could probably go through 300 to 400 rounds. So, yeah, we could probably reach about 25 pounds of powder per season. Granted, that's also doing living histories at Fort Stevens and Astoria, Oregon. So we do a lot of shooting there for public demos, everything like that. Kind of just depends. Gaslight Studios. Brandon F has a Discord. I just found out about that, and I will definitely join that. Big fan of Brandon F. personally, so. Matt, I will. Yeah, like you and Gaslight just said, I'll have to look into that. I'm looking to start my Federal Impression 137th New York. It is the alter ego. I know it was a German corps, so I'm trying to see if I see something other than corps badge. Logan, I'm not entirely sure. You might have to know German, because I know there were some regiments, brigades where German was a very prevalent language. Anyone who knows more than this, please feel free to correct me. I know there were some regiments, companies even, where their commands were given in German because it was such a was more the common tongue, so to speak. Kind of like First Regiment for Sharpshooters, the Swiss company or Swiss German company. Shout out to Casper Trap. Pour I'd pour a drink out if I was outside for him. Let me do this. I remember that some German companies gave different German drills. Yeah. So with German drill, from at least World War II reenacting standpoint, it's fairly similar. Jared can definitely attest to this. I like to throw out German commands every now and then, at least with company drill, just kind of mess with people. They may not be absolutely perfectly period correct because different terminologies from English to German, things like that. But with World War II reenacting, you have your Schutzkette and your Schutzreihe, which is your firing line, which is your linear kind of almost a skirmish line, and your column, so to speak. So not only that, but the term sharpshooter is derived from German, Scharfschütze. Plus, I believe there was a New York regiment called the German Rifles, so... Sorry, I'm just looking at the thing and realize I really skinned myself straight razor shaving, so... Jared, yeah. For some reason, Chancellorsville's sticking out to me on that core because there was just a lot of foreigners in that one. Let me do a quick search because this is gonna bother me. It might have been Howard's 11th Corps, if I'm recalling right. Granted, I'm also doing a Wikipedia. Hey, 11th Corps. There we go. Thanks, Dan. Rev Jeremy, especially with sharpshooters, let alone anything else pertaining to any conflict, it's a rabbit hole, man. It kind of sucks being in contact. Okay, I shouldn't say it sucks. um, it's a double-edged sword being in contact with Dan Wamba, Brian White, because they're sharpshooter gurus. That's at least how I put it for them. You know, when you think you know something about the sharpshooters, they'll drop something on you, and you're just like, oh my god, great! Now I have to look this up or research this. But it's really anything with the Civil War. I'm a big fan of uniforms and equipment. Um, so for me, there's just so many variations, so many different uh, intricacies, stuff like that, from different depots, different contracts. To me, it's personally just really interesting, kind of knowing how everything kind of works. Logistics and supply is oddly enough one of my really big fascinations with military. I'm trying to remember where I heard this quote from, but amateurs talk tactics, but professionals talk logistics. You know, the army has to eat; they have to be supplied clothing, ammunition, weapons, things like that. That's the hardest part of any campaign. Uh, so to me, that's a big rabbit hole for research. So really good question, Rev. I'm sure Jared has his own comments on that. Donald, on making tent stakes that I've learned from uh, your guys' videos. Did you run out of buttons? We'll have to get more buttons tomorrow. I mean, okay, well I don't have them in there, but I think they're in my sewing kit. But I got plenty of buttons. It's the one thing I never skimp on is buying plenty of buttons or having plenty of buttons supplied, just to make sure. You lose them sometimes. You underestimate. Logan Davis. Learned a lot from First Sergeant's video about the canteen authenticity. Company D really helped starting out. Pretty sure you guys introduced me to the hobby with an hour-long FAR rant. Thanks. You're welcome, man. That it's we need to do another one. Jared and I do, or at least maybe our whole group together. Get everyone's input. Personally, I love doing collaboration videos with either it's a live stream or a more formal video, just because you kind of get the playoff personalities, you kind of feed off each other, and mine and Jared's rant video about farbisms is fantastic. We both had a lot of fun doing it, and it's not that we're again, excuse the language. It's not that we're shitting on the farbs. We're not, because we were there once ourselves. We were farby. Um, Kind of like how I feel a lot of reenactors start out. You don't really know. You kind of just go with what's being told to you. You take it as the gospel, essentially. Um, but then you improve on that, or at least I hope a lot of people improve on that. So I'm really glad that you guys enjoy those videos. We're not trying to be malicious. We're not. We're actually with those videos. We're actually poking a lot of fun at ourselves more than anything. It's just the nature of the beast. So, Matt, yeah, I learned a ton about some nuances that you don't get right on looking back into the hobby. Hey, what's going on, Micronation? The department folks, Sons of the Union, veterans of the Civil War, and they had to mention your channel. Hey, cool. We're getting some notoriety out there. That's cool. Yeah. So actually, a fun story about this channel, and you guys, really, I mean, you guys are kind of the legacy and the growth of this channel. Is we initially started it um, with the intent, Jared and I did, as more of a help source just for our group, Company D Second US Sharpshooters, as a way so if we're not at a reenactment, we can help our members grow, do better, expand, everything like that. And uh, apparently, it's taken off. Uh, you know, 3,200 subscribers later. I mean, we were ecstatic when we made 100. We're like, oh my god, we're at 100. Like, this is amazing. Like, who would have known that this would have gone the way it did? But you guys really are the reason why we do this. The videos, the live streams, everything like that. So I'll take this time to say thank you, you guys. It really does mean a lot to us. Um, but we're really glad to the videos help you guys out, especially with your impressions. I love getting emails from you guys, just as much as Jared does. So you guys are pretty cool. That note, I'm actually going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back, so keep the questions coming. I'll roll through them once I get back. Should be just a minute. So. All right. Cool. So, Logan Davis, my most hated farb is people not acting serious in battle, like casually meandering or strolling on the field, or cavalry laughing and talking as they tink swords, not playing dead makes me want to live shoot. Yeah, that's always see that's one thing that's always bothered me too uh with kind of your typical public hoot and shoot events is people smiling, laughing to each other. It's like you're being shot at. You got people uh dying next to you, friends, family, wounded, dying, horrific injuries. You wouldn't be smiling, you wouldn't be laughing. That's no, yeah. That's a rabbit hole in itself that I could go down, and I don't want to do that. One of my favorite music artists just died of corona. Oh my god. Micronation, who unfortunately just passed because of it. See, I think there's a difference between starting Farby and progressively becoming accurate as resources become available versus staying Farby, even if They know they're Farb. Yeah, absolutely. You know, there definitely is a difference. You know, human nature as it is doesn't like change, and sometimes that kind of change scares people. They're kind of stuck in their ways. I was happy to make the change. I actually have been, even though we do more public events than we do private events or bivouacs, what have you, living histories. Even if we're at a public event, uh, I feel like I get more out of reenacting than I do anything. So being more authentic, I guess, because you look the part, you act the part. Kind of not a chip on your shoulder, but you just feel like you're doing it right. Logan Davis. It's worst of all when they start authentic and turn far, much like the older crowd. Yeah, again, it's the older crowd. They're stuck in their ways. Comfort replaces authenticity. Coolers, generators, flashlights, modern lights. Yeah, yeah. Don't get me started on that. Far be it me to say they didn't have it that in my day. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, Joe Diff. Yeah, I'm very familiar now. Hmm. Yeah, what a fun time we live in right now. L hop. Changed my whole impression because my old group was a farb mess. So now I'm looking up more civilian in 1850s. Research is the key. Absolutely, you just hit it perfectly. Hit it right on the head. Research is the key. And, share resources. Don't just keep, what you learn to yourself, or don't think, "Oh, I researched this. I know it. No one else does," cuz you might be proven wrong. You might know something someone might know something more than you do, and they share that with you. So, absolutely right. Research is the key. One day they will become like Conan O'Brien and pull out that M16 in a battle line. Yeah, as I'm shaking my desk. Uh I've always joked, I mean, there is a thing that our club does on Veterans Day, and it's at Fort Lewis over on in Western Washington, and they'll have different eras come out and kind of set up their areas, and they'll do a giant uh, era versus era battle. So I've seen Roman legionnaires with MG42s and Shogunatas, and Civil War soldiers with M1s, and World War II soldiers with Springfields and stuff like that. So I mean, shit, anything's possible. Oh, a good week? Oh man, years. There's people who do research for years and they're constantly learning new stuff. So, and L-hop, yeah, I know the feeling, man. Leatherworking and sewing, that is how I spend some of my free time besides gaming. So, and yeah, research is never done. Never ever done. But it's fun, I love doing research. Sometimes it's tedious, it's laborious, but you gotta have fun doing it. Kind of makes the hobby the way it is. Whoa, no way. That's really insane, Micronation. Damn. Sorry to hear that. For Dun is my go-to game for historical experience. I just want to be in uniform again. Hopefully my unit will get enough energy for half-ass Rebel Yell one of these days. I've heard the Rebel Yell done once in person. Well, okay, done right, and yeah, it's interesting. Oh, and Micronation, that's good. I'm glad he lived a good life. So it's always a shame to hear when reenactors pass at a young age, especially guys who are um, really doing oh god, what am I thinking of here? Making a difference in the hobby, I guess that's the way to put it. L Hop, really? What the hell? Oh yeah, SoCal. Go figure. I'll keep my personal thoughts and opinions about SoCal to myself. Friggin' nuts is putting it very, 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 very politely. Yip, growl, long yelp. Nah, Indian noises and yeehaw. Oh my god. That's a shame. 17 years old. This video. Oh yeah, Rev Jeremy. I've heard that. Yeah, that is an absolutely terrifying video to hear when he layers it and layers it and layers it and layers it. Kind of a weird little side hobby that I've been doing right now is a lot of audio editing, and yeah, it's having kind of played with that myself. Yeah, it's it gives you goosebumps. In the north, we give water to SoCal to keep them happy from moving north. Hey, I mean, Washington State, we got a lot of hydroelectric dams on the Columbia River, so we give our fair share to California for energy. I don't know what they give us in return, but again, thoughts to myself. Let's not get into personal rants. I mean, granted, uh, I really need to structure these live streams into blocks of what we talk about, but I mean, hell, if you guys want to ask personal questions about, how I feel about things, feel free to ask. I guess this would be the best time to do it. There's a vid of the Stonewall Corps doing it. Rebel Yell lives too. All right, Logan, I'll have to look that up after this. I live in NorCal. We gave Washington Californians, and I apologize in advance. Rev, I won't hold it personally against you. Most of the Californians live on the west side. I'm on the east side, but Californians coming into Western pushes a lot of the Westerners over here, and yeah, I don't know. I like Eastern Washington how it is. We don't need to be Seattle. That's why Discord is nice for those casual conversations outside of reenacting. Yeah, so, alright. So for a Discord server on here, I will make one. I'll just put it under Company D second USSS live stream. Or not live stream, but Discord channel or something like that. So write that down. I'll look for it. I'll actually create the server right now. How about that? Okay. So it is under second 2ND US Sharpshooters channel Discord. From there, I might change it eventually. So, but that way you guys have it right now. Cool. So, feel free to go into it. Feel free to add yourselves, stuff like that. Micronation to stay entertained. Copious amounts of beer, copious amounts of DayZ, and sewing projects. That's pretty much what I've been working on. Matt D, I've tried War of Rights. When it first started out, I wasn't a big fan, but I might actually eventually try it out here. So, all right. Sorry, I'm also working on getting this Discord channel started up for you guys, or channel server. All right, so the Discord server is up. So we have our general, FARB, authenticity, video ideas and suggestions. Ask me anything for basically if you guys want to get to know Company D better, or me, or whoever. um, stuff like that. So have a good time. Micronation, yeah, you have a good one, man. Definitely see you later in the next one. It's always good having you on. I was able to find some info on the second USS fighting Parson. He lived quite an exciting life as a soldier and as a chaplain. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Chaplain Barber lived a very exciting life. Yeah, if you guys need, let me know if you need to know how to get to this Discord server, by the way. I don't think it's set as private, so. Cav and artillery in the near future. That would be cool. That'd be really interesting, Matt. I need to get more invested with that. Matt, hold on just a sec. I'm not the best at running a server on Discord, so. L-Hop. I'm not entirely sure on the absolute longest shot, if it's ever even been recorded. Dan, if you're still on, feel free to add your input, your knowledge to this, so. Oh, wow. I did not know that, Rev, about the 6 whiffs. That's cool. Okay, there we go. There's the server link. So for everyone who wants to join the server for Discord, right there. It was hiding right in my face. So yeah, feel free to join. If you guys are, watching this live, definitely I encourage you guys to join. Those who are seeing this after it's been live, please please feel free. It's always great chatting with you guys. I love talking with you more. And in case you guys are wondering, on the Discord, my name is War Daddy. It's the nickname me and my friends have. So yeah, Dan's probably absolutely right on that. I haven't read much on what the second was doing on long range shots, but the first was, I feel, a little more popular. So probably about 5 more minutes, guys, and I'll have to hop off since we've been doing this for about 2 hours now. But I always appreciate you guys hopping in on these live streams. It's always a lot of fun. Yeah, and with us now having a Discord for this channel, um, I'll try to be in as frequently as I can. I do have a couple other Discords that I try to hop into. Two of them is one of them's for me and my friends, my closest friends, and the other one's for gaming stuff like that. So, Logan, what was the coolest thing I've seen at an event? I saw a CSA sharp shooter in a high tree at Braxton's Bridge. Coolest thing I've seen at an event. Actually, oddly enough, I know Oregon kind of gets a bad rap for authenticity. They never used to be utter farbs like they are now and making it to Farb Fest and Happy Friends all the time. But when they were a legit club, um, the ground charges they had, they were filled with like peat moss and stuff, so they actually looked like a cannonball actually hitting ground, not just like a little puff of smoke up in the air. That was pretty cool. There was a time at an event, there was a lot of rolling, undulating terrain that we were fighting on, and we were all prone on it, firing over this little rise, and we were firing on a cannon crew, and these guys were dropping every time we shot, and it was amazing to see. And another cannon crew ran over and wheeled the gun towards us, and we didn't know that there was one of those pot charges right on top of the little hill we were on, and we saw them wheel it over, saw the rammers on the hubs, and we saw the lanyard get pulled. And I remember I was the company first sergeant at the time, and I just yelled, "Sharpshooters, get down!" And we all just hunkered like this because we were close range. I mean, it was well within the safety distance of a cannon going off. And I remember all of us just seeing our whole skirmish line just laying down and just having like there was actually several pot charges next to each other, and it was near the end of the battle, so they were just blowing them like crazy, and they popped them all at once like a canister shot was going off, and it just like all this dirt and everything covering us. That was probably the coolest thing I've seen at an event. It felt super realistic, or as realistic as you can get, I guess, for a reenactment. So Matt, if you can find a secondhand Berdan Sharps from Shiloh, that's the only way you can get one. Other than that, Pedersoli. They're pricey, but you get what you pay for. They're super, super nice. And now I'm adding more threads to the text channels. Rev Jeremy? I'm sure there has. I know, what was the 150th Shiloh? There was a large group doing the 15th Ohio, and they even had like a wagon train, stuff like that. So that'd probably be the closest uh, thing I can think of, at least. So, anyways, it just turned 5 p.m. my time, so I'm gonna be hopping off on the live stream. Uh, so for those of you who are just seeing this now as a not live viewer, I will be posting our Discord channel on our Facebook page, which is Second United States Sharpshooters. So please check that out. Feel free to join. There's plenty of subthreads on it right now. If you guys have a suggestion to put a subthread in, please feel free to put it under general. I'll be sure to add the subthread on there, as well as we'll have the voice channels. We all can chat, talk, stuff like that from time to time, have a good time, uh, just joke around, get to know each other better. I love doing these live streams with you guys. It really is a lot of fun. Um, I will, especially since being out of work until this whole kung flu pandemic passes over. I'll definitely be trying to do live streams more, maybe once a week until I have something to do with my time, like work. uh, but yeah, so anyways, please feel free to join the Discord. Please be safe, you guys. I'm not too worried about this whole coronavirus thing personally. Just standard hygiene, you guys. Wash your hands after you use the bathroom. Wash your hands after being out in public. Us as a species, we're not the cleanest of all, stuff like that. But stay safe. I love chatting with you guys. I'd hate to find out that something happened to one of you and we can't have these awesome discussions on a live video with you missing. But I really look forward to our new Discord. That's going to be a really cool thing to have. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. So stay safe, live a good, healthy life, and I will definitely be chatting with you guys a lot more from now on. So have a good one, you guys. Thanks for joining the stream. Take care.